Fa'afine. It means to be like a woman. And Western labels like transvestite, transsexual or gay just don't fit. Genetically and physically, Fa'afine are men. In their hearts, they're women. And most want a long-term relationship with a heterosexual man. Fa'afine are found throughout the Pacific and have intrigued Westerners since first contact 200 years ago. The drag scene is new to Samoa, but traditionally Fa'afine have always been entertainers.
I knew that I am Fa'afine when I was 9 years old. I don't feel like a man. I feel like I'm a real woman. Attracted to a man is, I can't stop it, When a guy walks in a way, I say, like that.
Nobody can change. If you were born as a Fa'afine, of course you are. What I know is I think God made us like this anyway.
Believe me or not, I'm telling you the truth that I'm feeling that I'm a real woman.
There are real women in New Zealand too.
Hello.
Samoans have been coming here since the 1940s. For Fa'afine, the move brings pressures they never encountered back home.
I had been brought up in Samoa, and I think it was easier for me to come out because there were a lot of other Fa'afines over there, and in a society like this, it's just very hostile. It's very hard to come out, even though deep inside them they are Fa'afine. To me, my personal definition of Fa'afine is transsexualism, which means being anatomically of one sex and mentally and psychologically of the other. I'm a woman trapped in a man's body, and that's what Fa'afine to me is.
It's just like something that in between a man and a woman, it's Fa'afine. It's something that is just like you're in between the two sexes.
Go on then.
Look at me, I'm 6'1", and to me, female clothes doesn't suit me. The clothes I wear is, some people would say, quite effeminate, but that's just me. I had a very different way of thinking. I can think very much like a male, but also as a woman. My sisters and my brothers, in a lot of ways, I can understand both of them.
Want to swing? Well, we can't take this back. Go for a swing? Go for a swing?
I'm very proud of who I am, and I don't need to put on dresses to be that person. The most important thing to me is the thinking and your relationship to your family and to your culture. That's most important to me. And Fa'afine, this Fa'afine is saying that is very important, and not because you're dressed up, you're a Fa'afine. It's the unique way that we do things.
I've always known I was a Fa'afine, but it's not something that you automatically decided to become a Fa'afine. You were born with it. So therefore, I would say it comes from your heart. I guess people still are not accepting people as what they are in New Zealand, especially the Fa'afines from the Pacific Islands.
Samoa and Aotearoa,
I'm very comfortable in Samoa. I'm glad that we're accepted anyway.
I think the Palangi view, and it tends to polarize things. It must be very difficult for them to see the outward signs of a effeminate man and accept that this is a different being moving in a completely different world from an effeminate man in the Western world.
When I first arrived in New Zealand, I went straight to Aotearoa because that's where my sister and her husband used to live. It was a very hard time for me when I arrived because then I was very homesick. I arrived here with the very long fingernails and my eyebrows was very narrow and that. And my sister said to me the next day, oh, you should cut your nails and cut your hair and your eyebrows, let your eyebrows grow. And I said, why? And she said, oh, because in New Zealand you don't see any boys going around like that. And I said, well, this is the life I've been grown up in Samoa and I want to live my life as I am. And so I end up cutting the nails and have a haircut to make my hair short and let my eyebrows grow. And so I got a job at Forest Products. And all that time, I pretend myself to be somebody else. I felt very uncomfortable, you know. Sometimes I sleep at night and wish that the night will never end, you know. I feel like I wish that 7 o'clock in the morning will never come because I feel funny to go to work with means and whenever whatever means talk about it and that sort of thing, it's sort of leaving me out of it because I'm not interested in what they're talking about and I just sort of be on my own or go and look for a Samoan girl that work over there to talk with. I work to help my sister and the husband, you know, bringing up the kids until their two eldest boys start to work, and then I decided to leave Aotearoa and make a move to Auckland because I want to come back to my real life, that I get used to it from Samoa.
The heartbeat of Samoan society is the family. Historically, whawhawhine always had a special place there.
I can't think of any ainga or extended family in Samoa that does not have a whawhawhine. In fact, some ainga would have up to 3 or 4. We have existed in the Pacific for hundreds and hundreds of years. The Samoan culture nurtured us. We were born whawhawhine and we were nurtured by the culture in our families. That's what made us special.
I knew that I am whawhawhine when I was 9. When I was 9 years old, I started hanging around with whawhawhines and acting like a whawhawhine. My family showed me, you know, those kind of ladies' jobs, you know, washing dishes, do the washing. At the moment in my family, we have only one sister left in they all married and they all gone. That's why my family, you know, really like me and accept me as a woman because they know that I do everything, I do every women's duty, like washing dishes, you know, and do washing, having my mother do the cooking, you know, things like that.
I got no sister. I got 3 brothers. I'm the eldest of them all. So in our Samoan way, or in our Samoan culture, if we have about 4, 5 or more boys, no girls, there was someone to be a girl from those boys. So that's what I think about. But when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I became a girl.
I know there's a myth that whawhawhinis are boys raised as girls, but I don't think it's very true, because when I was younger, when I was really young, my parents did everything to discourage me from being whawhawhine and acting a little bit girly. So I don't think there's any truth in that.
There is never a shortage of girls in any family in Samoa, because we do not regard a family as a nuclear family only, to use that social studies term. A family in Samoa is always an extended family. And so if I don't happen to have any girls in my immediate family, I have no problem, because there are girls in my brother's family or in my cousin's family.
My mom was really well accepted. She accepted what I'm doing, being a girl, because I help her a lot of things to do, like housework, cooking, washing, and sometimes I'm doing boys' work, like cutting grass. But my dad, he's a hard man. He always tried to keep me hiding every time and every day. Don't do that, that's a girl's clothes, so don't put that makeups on your face, you're a boy. But mothers, they really well support their children, especially us whawhawhine.
If my family doesn't like the way I am, that's when I'm worried, because they're not there to support me or help me, but they all supportive and they help me a lot. And my father know that I'm like this when I was very young, and he sort of never give me a hiding or stop me from being like this. So now he's gone, he's dead, but he's a very loving father to me.
When I was born, my father told me I'm a boy. No one in my family born to be a whawhawhine before. That's why he doesn't like me to act like a whawhawhine.
We are Christians, we want to be Christians, and we have to do what the Christian has to do, is to tell him that he's a man and he has to be a man. First, I'd like a man to do what a man has to do. Get himself a wife, have children like myself, and build up the family. Never live like a woman. Benji is not confused. Then one night I was talking to him about 2 hours. We had a nice talk, and he didn't go to sleep. He went and wrote something on the paper and left it on his bed, telling me that he agrees with everything I said, but he's sorry that, you know, his young life is still there. He wants to enjoy with his friends. He cannot break off from there until the time is right for him. So actually he's doing it for fun. That's what, as far as I know. We can't sort of desert them to another island or something, and I wish we could do that. But having whawhawhine around Samoa, it's a very sad thing to see.
If your family kicks you out because they don't accept you as a whawhawhine, then you become very isolated. And it's quite sad because of the fact that you're not only isolated, but your sense of belonging, your sense of identity is lost. Those people, in order to try and survive, gather together and constitute a family.
Where I'm living now, I live with two drag queens. I call them as my families because I spend most of my time with them. So therefore I call them as my family. I have a real family. I have my mothers and father. I have sisters and brothers, nephews and niece. And I don't live with them. I still call them as my family, but my family as it is for now is with my flatmates.
You gotta leave it. Put it back. They want to take the swings.
Carl was raised by his grandparents. When he was a little boy, I didn't notice anything. But when he arrived in New Zealand when he was 9, it was different from the other boys.
It's still winter, it's still summer. So I don't know what he's talking about.
I was worried about my son, for the people to pick on him, and, when they see him like that, they sort of look down on him. He's a whawhawhine, and I was more worried when he went to school. I didn't know that New Zealand was so cruel towards whawhawhine then.
My experience in Samoa, all the whawhawhine I knew were very good people, very much treated by their families as such. And I couldn't understand when I came to New Zealand that I suddenly was made somebody different, abnormal, and also it was something bad. And I couldn't understand it, even at 9 years old, how I could be bad when I wasn't doing anything that was bad. And I could never, ever understand that.
The siva is a Samoan traditional dance. It's mostly done by women. I think all the whawhawhinas I've come across, they all know the siva. Some of them even dance much better than the women. That's always surprise some women when they watch it. They always say something about the whawhawhinas, how they dance better than them. I was born in a village not far from Apia. I never dressed up as a woman back home. And when I arrived here, my school friend, and she came over one time and wanted us to go out night clubbing. And he had this spare dress, and she asked me to wear it. Why not go out as women for a change? So I said, oh, that'll be nice. He even put my makeup on because I didn't know how to do it. And I thought, oh, gee, that looks nice, looking in the mirror. But I thought it was nice, but not when I look back at it, it was terrible. Well, we had a good time that night. Come home and talk about it and laugh about it. That was my first drag.
Frida's drag improved, and in 1981 she was winner of New Zealand's first drag queen pageant.
I pretend I'm a woman sometimes, but that's only for fun. Like going out to a fun party or to a social or to where I gather with friends. You gotta shave. You sit in front of the mirror for a couple of hours. I wear a lot of foundation. I don't wear a lot of colors on my eyes because I like to go out natural. That nightclub we went to, a couple of people there were mums, friends from Samoa, they were visiting here. And the next minute when I ran mum in Samoa was first question, she said, oh, I heard you were out in the nightclub in a dress. I'm not going to tell them, or I'm not going to sit down and tell them, hey, I'm whakawhawhine. If they find out, they find out. But if they don't, they don't. I mean, what's the point of telling them? They 3,000 miles away, I'm here.
Whether they dress as women for fun or are serious about it, whakawhine are quite clear about who they're attracted to.
I'm looking for a boyfriend, and I hope I can get a good one.
We don't go for women, sexual-wise. We just go for men.
I don't want to be like a man. I want to be like a woman, so I use a lot of makeups. I like nail polish very much, red and shining. A lipstick, I like red color. It's gonna be suit me because, I like red.
Frances is entering this year's drag queen pageant.
This is my second time. I've been to the a competition. It doesn't matter if I win or lose, but I just go there to meet some other friends, especially my own people and my own kind of people, whakawhine.
No, Jasmine, you're supposed to be at there. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 1. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you turn, we've got a little exact time for us to move our fingers. Before, when you finish the shaking, 1, 2, 3, 4, ding, ding, ding. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, can you back to your position, please? Back to your positions. Please. 3, 4,
Let the show begin.
5, turn.
The reason that I want to go to the pageant, I want to show myself as a girl. I want to be like a woman.
3, 4, 5, 6. Turn. Shake it. 1, 2.
The thing that men most affiliate women with are breasts, and so I decided to get some of my own. I wear a padded bra, and this is the sort of thing I'm into because it really emphasizes the bust. A lot of whakawhines take female hormones. I was just one of the unlucky ones that didn't react very well. I suffered a lot of side effects like nausea and headaches, but a sex change operation is definitely on my list.
The reason that I don't want a sex change is cost a lot of money, and once you can have your sex change, you got no more feelings, you can put on weight, and you got no sex drive.
I was ready for a full operation, And I talked to my doctor, and it's just a slice or a cut, and you don't enjoy it. And that's why I don't want to have an operation. What I think of is a whawhiwhi can perform better than a woman. Just because inside it's wanting to be a woman. So what she wants to do is just to please the man, that I can do better than a woman. For any sex you can name, without a vagina.
Sex change is just something that you changing yourself to please somebody, you know. But what's the use of having that if you don't fulfill yourself with what being a woman is supposed to be, you know? Because being a woman, I believe, is you got to have children when you married and have a family. I think my nephews and my nieces are my child. I've been looking after them when they were young, and they all seems to be like I'm their parents, you know. I'm no different from their mother and father to them as far as I know. So in that way, that I feel that I got kids.
Whawhiwhi in Samoa, I think it's a gift from God. I'm singing in the choir. My part in the choir is soprano. I'm a Sunday school teacher.
Christianity came to Samoa in the 1830s. Whawhiwhi had been noticed by missionaries in Tahiti, but missionaries in Samoa chose not to mention them in their journals.
And my belief is that the missionaries were trying to make them into a role that was against what was there in the first place. You know, you have the male, the female, and then you have the whawhiwhi here. When the missionaries came to Samoa, they redefined sexuality because, you know, like the women was bare-breasted and they covered them up. So this became a sexual object. Whawhiwhi was pushed into, they couldn't push into the female because physically they were males. So they redefined by pushing the whawhiwhi towards the male. This was seen as something foreign and evil, if anything.
Religion is a vital part of life in Samoa, and the church holds nightly bingo games to raise money. In this parish, whawhiwhi help out.
It's quite unusual here in Samoa to have whawhiwhi play a special role in the church because they are neglected in the society. And perhaps I may say that it was quite weird when our church members or this parish realized that we were using the whawhiwhi here. First of all, I don't, or my husband and I, we don't encourage whawhiwhi. We don't, because we believe that it is against Christianity and its principles. We believe that we have to make use of them. So we assure them that they are human beings and they are loved and that they are cared.
The power of the church doesn't lose its hold when Samoans come to New Zealand. Over 90% in Auckland attend regularly. However, whawhawhine are conspicuous by their absence.
My literal understanding of the term whawhawhine is someone who pretends to be a woman, whawhawhine. In terms of the church embraces them just like anyone else, except for the fact that we might be hesitant to put them into any major church leadership position. Speaking from a New Zealand-born point of view, the way I see a lot of our people understand the term in the church is that they understand the niceties of the term. But when it comes down to the actual sexual activity, I think that's an area where perhaps some of our people may not want to delve into.
The problems about whawhawhine with the church is that some people synonymise what we are, whawhawhine, transsexualism, with homosexuality, which is a completely different thing. And in the Bible, that's a sin, and I think that's where the attitudes sort of like start to get a little bit sour, I suppose. But really, whawhawhines are only men on the outside, but they're women on the inside. And I feel sexuality-wise, we're perfectly straight, we're heterosexual.
Whawhawhine is one subgroup that used to go to church that are no longer going because of the views held by church. I mean, you're not going to go to church if the church is telling you that you're not right and you're wrong and because of who you are as a person. Then you're not going to go to church.
I might take the turn.
Whawhawhine just want to get on with their lives, but there's prejudice and misunderstanding out there.
Long one.
Human rights legislation passed last year makes it illegal to discriminate on the basis of sexual orientation, but this does not cover transsexuals or whawhawhine. The Human Rights Commission will now take grievances on a case-by-case basis, and this is a start.
There's a lot of discrimination about whawhawhine on two counts. One, on the different sexuality, the fact that you're very different, and also on the other thing is we're Samoans. Is first of all is what is the visible, and that is my colour. So you get the race, and then they find out that you're whawhawhine, and you get that.
School was really important for me because it really got me to come to terms with who I was and what I was, and it really made me gain the confidence that I have now. Being different in a single-sex school was very hard. Although I went through some very harsh times and some very tough times, I managed to come through, and I was different, and I loved attention, and I do a lot of outrageous stuff, very weird stuff, I was told, like turning up at school one time in a miniskirt and wearing something really outrageous to the school ball. So I got a lot of hassles and name-calling for that, but then, there certainly will be discrimination, and it's going to be harder for me to get a job than the ordinary person, than the so-called normal person. This is my second year of a conjoint BCom LLB degree, and hopefully I'll graduate and become the first whawhawhine accountant. I don't really feel the need to tell my employer what I am. If they find out, they find out. If they don't, they don't, because I don't think I'm a danger to the workplace, or I'm a deadly disease that anyone's avoiding. This is what I am, this is who I am. I'm meant to be like this, and if they don't like it, too bad.
If I'm applying for the job, it is very, very hard for me, because like my identification and all my CV is all under my Frank race as Mr. So I don't want to lie. So I say, well, look, you know, I'm a whawhawhine. I introduce myself. I say, oh, good morning. My name is Frank Reese. And they laughing. They look at me like that and laughing at me, and they ask question, oh, why are you saying your name is Frank Reese, but you a girl? You look like a female. I said, well, it's very hard for me to explain that, and I don't want to go further. You know, you already know that, so please call me Francis.
I'm working in a knitwear factory. I'm working there as a machinist. And I'm quite happy with my job. People I'm working with, they very understand about me and what I am. I worry about the young Fa'afafine nowadays because they're afraid to go and look for jobs in case the people will reject them as the way they look like and the way they dress up and that sort of thing. Going to a factory and someone see you there turning up as dressed in the woman clothes and wearing makeup, and they just turn around and say no work for you, you know. I think that's probably scared them.
In Samoa, many Fa'afafine have got around problems of work discrimination by setting up their own businesses.
560. That's 6, 8, 10, 20. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, I better go because that's how.
Go to Mickey Mickey. Huh? My business is just a small shop for beach shop. It's for our village and for the people and for me to earn some money because I know that we Fa'afafine are independent people.
13 minutes after 3 o'clock, continuing on with our music from Samoa's music leader. And reminding you, coming up at 3:30, I'll be giving you the update weather report for Samoa. And of course, the Tokelau Islands, all made possible by the one and only Samoa Air.
Fa'afafine may find it easier to get a job in Samoa, but what to wear to work can still be a dilemma.
I mean, when I come to work, sometimes I can dress up like a woman. But especially when I go out, I dress up most of the time like a woman when I go out.
When I go to work, I want everybody to call me Danny. But when I go out with some friends, I want to call me Sabrina. When I'm working as a male. Samoa is better than New Zealand because most of the locals now, they all accept the malas or the Fa'afafine as the way they are now.
There was a guy, he was bringing me up, and he said, oh, well, can I take you for dinner? I said, well, you're welcome. We went dinner, and then after that, we went to the nightclub. Without he know that I'm a drag queen. Another week, and he came here again. So we went out. We come home, and he said, oh, can I come in for a cup of coffee? What happened, and we spent about 10 or 15 minutes on a bed, and then I let him know. I said, well, look, I know it's very hard for me to say, but to me, I always honest. Do you know that I'm not the girl? I'm a Fa'afafine or I'm a drag queen. And he was so He can move. He look at me into the eye and he say, oh, look at you. You are so beautiful. You look gorgeous. You not look like a man. You are absolutely female. I thought that he's not gonna give me a ring anymore. But about 3 days later, he rang me up again. And he wants to take me out.
One of the hardest things that I'll have to consider during a date is whether to tell whoever it is what I really am. And usually on the first date I wouldn't give any hints, or I tried not to give any hints anyway. Telling me what I really am is very hard. I've had a lot of bad reactions and very few good ones. The bad reactions sort of range from just someone telling you he wants nothing to do with you, to someone telling you that he's going to kill you. I'd love to have a male partner. It's just that I haven't found Mr. Right yet. But I'd love to have someone as a long-time companion and someone I can really trust and spend the rest of my life with.
When we first came here, we were living together, one family, brothers and sisters. But they've all gone out and married and have their own houses and that. I prefer living alone, and I had a relationship one time for a couple of years, and that's it. That's about the only longest relationship I had. No, I'd rather stay by myself, because it's a very hard life too, when we think back from the start right till what we are now. Even though we enjoyed ourselves being like this, but there was quite a lot of bad things in it too.
A lot of people, they look down to us. They say, oh, look at those duck, look at those animals. But we are all human beings.
The future for Fa'afafine in New Zealand is all right. It's very, as long as they can be as they are and go work as they are Fa'afafine, you know, don't try and pretend to be a man, and then, because that's the hardest part of it, trying to pretend to be somebody else. But I think it's a really good future if they can be as they are. They're starting to accept Fa'afafine very, very well in Samoa nowadays. That there are beauty pageants over there. Every year it's a event for Samoan queens. Every year now.
All the family turns up. You know, my friends and relations and everyone turns up to support. Not because they are competing as drag queens, but because he happens to be my cousin, my son, my brother. And whether we like or support what they're doing, we will support and tapwa'i the competition that they are in. That is the kind of society that we have.
This program was made with the help of your broadcasting fee, so you can see more of New Zealand on air.